Right now on News 3, how a small mistake is leading to a dramatic tax increase for a city in Sauk County.
Plus, getting into the Christmas spirit as a life-sized advent calendar comes to life in New Glarus.
This is News 3 at 10.
First, we have a developing story tonight. Multiple departments are on the scene of a large fire in the town of Richmond in Walworth County. Emergency responders were called to the scene on Lake Lorraine Road about 6:15. So this fire has been burning now for several hours. Crews say a lack of water in that area causing some issues. No word yet on if anyone was injured or what caused it.
Another developing story, nearly 2,000 people are without power right now on the north side of Madison. Madison Gas and Electric says a car hit a power line near Cherokee Park at 8:30 tonight. They have been on the scene since trying to restore the power, but they do not have an estimated time when it will come back on. People in Reedsburg tonight thought their taxes were staying the same next year.
So imagine their surprise when they opened their bills and saw their taxes went up 6%. All new tonight at 10, Amy Reed explains how it happened, and she joins us from the News Center tonight. Amy?
Yeah, this was all a surprise, and not just to average citizens, but to city council. They thought they had passed a budget that required a 0% tax increase, and then they found out the same way everyone else did that that wasn't true.
This year, they were extremely surprised last Saturday when they opened up their mail and it says your taxes went up 6.2% for the city. And so that's what really sparked the council's outrage. Rightfully so, because they felt like they were misled.
Reedsburg City Treasurer Jacob Crusetto says there was no reason for City Council to believe their tax rate for 2019 wasn't right when it was presented to them in budget meetings. But it wasn't. City Administrator Stephen Compton had figured the number on his own, bringing the mill rate to council without showing the calculations, which is normal.
The city is not planning on collecting more than what we had planned to. The issue was how it was communicated to the council and how the numbers were contrived by the city administrator.
The process is somewhat confusing, but Crusetto explained there are two values used to assign value to a property. The equalized value is set by the Department of Revenue, but the assessed value is set by the city assessor. And that's the number that's used with the budget by state law to determine how much to charge in taxes. But Compton used the equalized value, a higher number, which made City Council think they wouldn't have to raise taxes to get the $6 million necessary for the budget. In reality, assessed property values had gone down, meaning Reedsburg would have to raise taxes to keep the budget where it is.
It is unfortunate because the council did intend on a zero impact, and so I think that's ultimately what led to Steve's resignation.
The administrator's last day will be tomorrow, and Crusetto hopes they'll be able to make up for this year's mistake when 2020 budget talks start next year.
We're hoping next year, and we're confident actually, that assessed value is going to increase to account for a lot of this. So we're hoping that we can lower taxes next year to sort of make up for this.
Until the council can find a replacement, the chief of police and the city treasurer, that's the man that you just saw in that story, they'll stand in. The city is planning to go over this more in the next council meeting in January, but the city is firm. This is not the same error that we saw in Verona, and they are not over collecting on taxes.
All right, Amy Reed reporting in our News Center tonight. Amy, thank you.
New tonight, Green Cab is going back on the road around the clock. The company pulled its drivers off the road this weekend after a string of robberies. Since Sunday, the company has only been running until 7 o'clock at night, citing those safety concerns. But as of tomorrow morning at 6, the company will resume operations 24 hours a day. The Trump administration has officially banned bump stocks. It comes in the wake of the Las Vegas massacre. This, the same day the President's School Safety Commission made recommendations to help prevent mass shootings in schools. Those recommendations include identifying mental health problems in students to regulation of violent video games. But the report leaves the issue of arming teachers up to states and local school districts.
The U.S. Senate tonight has passed a sweeping prison reform bill, the first in years, voting to cut sentences for tens of thousands of inmates while also increasing access to programs designed to keep people from returning. It marks the first major bipartisan victory for the Trump administration. The bill still needs approval in the House of Representatives, where it is expected to pass later this week. A Madison man accused of luring an officer, firing a gun at her will spend the next 22 years in prison. Cornelius Britton sentenced this afternoon. The officer testified today. She says Britton shot at her several times the morning of October 6, 2016. Officers said Britton was shooting while hiding behind the corner of an apartment building on Russet Road. After his arrest, police were able to put him at the scene of 5 other crimes that year. President Trump's former national security advisor went to court for sentencing, but that hearing took an unexpected turn.
Michael Flynn left the courthouse without a decision on his future. The federal judge delayed sentencing. Flynn pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about his contacts with Russia. Prosecutors had recommended no prison time for his cooperation, but today the judge raised the possibility that Flynn could spend time behind bars, telling him he sold out his country. The U.S. has pledged nearly $10 billion in aid to southern Mexico and Central America in an effort to promote better security and job opportunities. The Mexican Foreign Relations Secretary announced the investments and aid this afternoon. It's part of an effort to help Central Americans remain in their countries and not have to emigrate to the United States. It was unclear if Mexico would give anything in return. Officials say a fire engulfed a neighborhood in the northern Brazilian city of Manaus and destroyed at least 600 wooden houses built on stilts. Civil defense officials say 4 people were injured, but no deaths were reported. The fire began last night in the city's low-income neighborhood and was extinguished several hours later.
Tornado touched down this afternoon. This was just outside Seattle. Doppler radar data suggests debris was lofted at least 6,000 feet into the air after this touchdown. Damaged several homes, downed dozens of trees. The spin-up, though, was so brief it was up and gone before a warning could even be issued. Let's get a look at our first alert forecast now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti on the backyard patio. Gary?
The tornadoes in December and temperatures about 15 degrees above average here. It's just a continuation of the mild December that we've had. And on Doppler track, no precipitation across the state, not even a few flakes of snow. Low temperatures this morning. Started out in the mid to upper teens from Madison on toward the north and east. That's still a couple degrees above average. To our southwest, temperatures stayed in the 20s, and that's well above average. High temperature in Madison today, 44. That's 15 degrees above normal. Boscobel hit 50. Many locations were in the mid to upper 40s, and current temperatures are still above freezing. We're at 35 in Madison, and with cloud cover coming in, wind staying out of the south, I think temperatures only fall a few more degrees. In fact, by tomorrow morning, they should be down to around freezing. Look for mostly cloudy skies tomorrow. A chance of a shower, mainly in the afternoon west of Madison. Another mild day with a high temperature of 42. That's your first alert forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you. One person taken to the hospital tonight after a crash. This happened on Main Street in Verona near the intersection of Einichen Drive just after 5:30. The street closed in both directions while crews cleaned it up. It has since reopened. After finding mold during a basement remodeling project, the Lodi Public Library is still closed until further notice. Library officials say when they were retiling their floors, they found water underneath the concrete, and some traces of mold were found in the air of the library itself. As a precautionary measure, they decided to close the library until they could clear things out. Another air test will be done tomorrow. They're hoping to be back open when they get the test results back at the end of the week.
Leaders in Janesville say they are confident UW-Whitewater will continue to be a development partner despite the resignation of Chancellor Beverly Copper. Before yesterday's announcement, plans were in place for UW-Whitewater to put a satellite campus in Janesville. Part of the development will also be home to Blackhawk Community Credit Union's headquarters. CEO Sherry Stump says she's not worried about the partnership.
You have to have a lot of faith in the fact that the revitalization of Janesville is in the hands of a lot of capable people. And Chancellor Copper did a great job of bringing that together for us, but there's no reason to believe that another person won't do a great job as well.
As of now, Stump says there are no changes being planned for the partnership. Chancellor Copper will resign at the end of the month. Local business owners are taking a European Christmas tradition to the streets of New Glarus.
Keely Arthur reveals how they're getting into the holiday spirit.
Take a stroll around downtown New Glarus and you're going to see a lot of Christmas spirit, like decorations, but you'll also find some numbers like a 2, a 4, or a 10. And to find out what this all means, you have to wait until the moon is out.
Merry Christmas. Thank you everyone for being here.
Every evening on the days leading up to Christmas, folks in New Glarus get to unveil a new treat. Much like the Advent calendar you may have in your home, except instead of candies or small trinkets, they are life-size holiday window displays in 24 different businesses.
I got to tell you, it didn't seem like it was going to 24 of us were going to get together and agree to do something and have it all fly, but so far it is.
Swiss transplant Jackie Judd came up with the idea.
So in Switzerland, where I grew up, we always went to these windows
as a way to introduce a piece of her childhood traditions to her children and new home in Wisconsin.
My daughter is 5 and my son is just born in March. I want to give them something that I grew up with.
So she asked business owners if they'd join her in her Swiss holiday.
I went out in September, walked basically through downtown, and I went into every business who was open, and I brought them my idea.
24, the exact number she needed, agreed, dressing their windows in every festive way imaginable.
We did the Christmas tree decorated in our Lebkuchen gingerbread cookies, and the tradition goes that they're created and hung by the mantle or Christmas tree.
We had number 5. This is all going along with the story that is, what do snowmen do at night?
I love to go and look at those windows every evening. I'm like probably one of the most excited person. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So far, 18 windows are now visible, bringing Jackie's Swiss tradition to life here in Wisconsin and inviting families here to make it their tradition, too.
Every year I want to go home at Christmas. Every year I feel like I miss my family a lot. And this year I feel like home.
In New Glarus, Keely Arthur, WISC News 3.
And for more details on New Glarus Advent's Fenster, go to our website, channel3000.com. Tonight, people around the country are saying their goodbyes to actress, producer, director Penny Marshall. Born in the Bronx, Marshall rose to fame in the 70s as one half of the Milwaukee-based brewery working duo Laverne and Shirley. She eventually moved behind the camera into the director's chair, hitting home runs with movies like A League of Their Own and also Big. Marshall's publicist says she died from complications of diabetes at her home in California. She was 75. Still ahead tonight at 10, your updated forecast. Closer look at our chances for a white Christmas.
But first, a new state-of-the-art treatment for depression, how it works when we come back. Welcome back. A new treatment being offered by SSM Health is giving people who have struggled with depression for years another option.
It's called transcranial magnetic stimulation. It sends powerful bursts of magnetism into the brain. For Diane Robinson, it's given her voice back. The former preschool music and drama teacher had to retire early after struggling with depression for 40 years. Her medication eventually stopped working. She's on her 9th treatment of TMS, and she'll get it every weekday for 6 weeks.
I can tell you what happens here, and I can tell you that Diane's feeling better, and then I can tell you a lot of speculations about why, what connects the two and what the mechanism of action is. But at the end of the day, we probably don't quite know how it works, but we do know that it works.
Dr. Herbsman says this essentially hits the reset button on her brain, putting her into a long-term remission of sorts from depression. She says she feels like the sunshine has been put back in her soul.
The big Bundle Up clothing drive is underway right now. It's a statewide effort organized by the Wisconsin Department of Tourism. People in the Madison area can drop off items like coats, boots, and hats to the Greater Madison Convention and Visitors Bureau on Mifflin Street. Last year, around 800 items were collected. And check this out. Dane County Executive Joe Parisi and Sheriff Dave Mahoney were out ringing for the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. They were stationed at Metcalf's on Mineral Point Road. The Salvation Army of Dane County says it still needs around $200,000 of its $525,000 goal. Forbes magazine is out with its annual list of the highest paid celebrities.
And topping the 2018 list is Star Wars creator George Lucas, a net worth of $5.4 billion. Film director Steven Spielberg second at $3.7 billion. Oprah number 3, followed by former NBA star Michael Jordan. Entertainers Jay-Z and Kylie Jenner tied for 5th place according to Forbes, worth $900 million apiece.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us now with a look at our forecast. Hi, Gary.
Hi. I was just waiting to see where I was on that list. Probably a little shy of that. And I'm not going to be accepting any tips for a white Christmas this year because probably won't be one. We take a look at Doppler track across Wisconsin. No snow here. In fact, most of the precipitation showing up on radar is in the form of light rain showers over southern Iowa that could reach us later on tomorrow into tomorrow night. Snow depth continues to shrink, mainly less than 3 inches over the northwestern half of the state, and a lot of this is only an inch or two with a lot of bare spots. Latest computer model forecast, GFS US computer model. This is through early on Christmas Day morning. Only 0.2 of an inch of snow from now until then. The European computer model, about 0.3 of an inch, and that's mainly in some snow flurries Christmas Eve night into early Christmas Day. Maybe better chances, at least according to the European model, farther out to the west, but that snow, if it does materialize, won't reach us until during the day on Christmas Day. Live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam at downtown Madison. It's actually a pretty nice evening out there, mild out there. Temperatures are still in the mid-30s. We started out at 19 this morning. High temperature, 44 degrees, 15 degrees above average. We're at 35 now with skies mostly clear, although there is some high-level cloudiness coming in. Winds are out of the south at 8 miles per hour. Those temperatures have held pretty steady overnight. If you're traveling, take a look at GFS Future Track beginning now and running right up through Christmas. Big storm system over the next couple of days will move through the eastern part of the country, but it'll be bringing mainly rain. The northern fringes of this could bring some light rain and snow showers tomorrow night into early Thursday, followed by some sunshine. The next weather system will travel mainly on a northerly path. The computer models try to bring some snow in here on Saturday. That's what the GFS model was showing, at least for a little bit of light snow. But right now I'm thinking if we get anything out of that, it'll be in the form of flurries. And then as we head into Christmas Eve, you can see the next weather system. This is at 10 p.m. Christmas Eve night. Maybe bringing some light snow to the northern part of Wisconsin. We're just looking at some flurries here that would linger into Christmas Day morning. The next weather system farther out to the west won't affect us until Wednesday, but we could see a mix of precipitation at that point. High temperatures today in the 40s across the entire state, even up over northern Wisconsin where there is some snow on the ground. Temperatures right now are above freezing statewide, and La Crosse is still at 40 degrees. Upper level winds from the southwest. The first storm system digging through the southern part of the United States again will affect mainly the eastern portion of the country. The next weather system will head up to the north and kind of bypass us, and we're just kind of sitting in between the jet streams, which is not a good place to be if you're looking for precipitation. So you got one storm system heading to the north, bringing mild air through much of the Midwest. Temperatures right now 30s and 40s, and on future track, the next weather system behind that goes to the south, and so we're kind of in between, just on the northern fringes of it, with maybe some light rain or snow showers late tomorrow into the day on Thursday. So our forecast overnight, look for a low temperature of 32 degrees. The skies turn mostly cloudy. It'll be breezy as well, and tomorrow look for a high of 42 with breezy southerly winds. Maybe a couple of showers in the afternoon. Best chances west of Madison, but the computer models have really been backing off on that. Brings the clouds in, but you can see very little in the way of precipitation expected tomorrow into tomorrow night, and then maybe on Thursday a couple of light snow showers or flurries, but even there temperatures will be in the middle 30s, and that'll just be too warm for any snow to accumulate. 7 to 10 day forecast, those temperatures slowly going downhill as we head toward Christmas, but still above average. Again, those high temperatures should be in the upper 20s by Christmas Eve night into Christmas Day, a few flurries, and then that storm system Wednesday into Thursday, maybe a mix of precipitation, some rain, snow, freezing rain in there, changing to rain, and then back to snow as we turn colder on Friday. But a lot of it will just depend on where the temperatures are and where the exact track of that storm is.
We'll wait and see.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Gary.
You're welcome.
Madison East boys basketball team tries to stay undefeated. Tough test, though, at Sun Prairie tonight. The story coming up in sports.
It looks like the top of the Big 8 Conference in boys basketball is pretty loaded this season, and leading the way so far is Madison East. The Purgolders are ranked third in the state in Division I in today's WISCSports.net poll, and East was undefeated heading into a big game at Sun Prairie tonight. East can really play defense. Looks like Sun Prairie might get a basket here, but Jamon Boynton says, nah, I don't think so. Then the Purgolders get offense off their defense. A steal sends DeMonte Thompson on the break. Nice little Euro step here. And He gets the hoop. Final score was East 62, Sun Prairie 55. Now our next Prep Mania high school game of the week is January 4th when Madison East hosts Madison La Follette in boys basketball. You can watch that game live on channel3000.com. Marquette men's basketball hosts North Dakota. Remember, Frank Kaminsky scored a Badger record 43 points against North Dakota in 2013. Marcus Howard, capable of scoring that many, doesn't quite get to 43, but does get 26 to lead the Golden Eagles. Final score is Marquette 92, North Dakota 66. They announced the rosters for the Pro Bowl tonight. 2 Packers make it. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. David Bakhtiari, Corey Lindsley, and Kenny Clark are alternates. Other notables, J.J. Watt and Melvin Gordon are Pro Bowlers. Derek Watt is an alternate. Another Packer note, running back Aaron Jones goes on injured reserve, so his season is over. The Packers also worked out quarterback Paxton Lynch today, but didn't sign him. The 5-8-1 Packers play at the 4-10 Jets Sunday. Not exactly appointment television, but if you're a Packer player, it's another day of going to work and doing your best.
This game is built on being unselfish, so when they play, make sure you're playing for the guys around you. Playing 60 minutes.
It's just life. That's how you go about life. You go through the bad, still going through it. You fall down, get back up, figure out what happened, and, try not to make those mistakes again.
The Badger football team will leave for the Pinstripe Bowl in New York on Sunday, December 23rd. That means they'll be spending Christmas in the hustle and bustle of New York City. That's going to be the 3rd straight year the Badger players have been on the road for a bowl game on Christmas Day. Now, if you celebrate Christmas, it can be a bit of an inconvenience being half a country away from your family on the holiday, but there are ways of working around it.
But this year we scheduled Christmas around bowl games, so I'm not going to have it until in January, so it'll be good. But yeah, I definitely miss Christmas. But I'm excited for New York. I mean, Christmas down there is a big thing, so it'll be fun.
And who doesn't love the Cherry Bundy Boca Raton Bowl? Gary Canalte's alma mater, Northern Illinois, faces Alabama Birmingham. The Huskies could have used Canalte in the defensive backfield. First play from scrimmage, UAB gets a 70-yard touchdown. Final score, UAB 37, Northern Illinois 13. By the way, Cherry Bundy, the sponsor of the Cherry Bundy Boca Raton Bowl, is a tart cherry juice with all sorts of health benefits. At least that's what they say. And we'll be right back.
Gary's here with the final check of your forecast.
Temperatures are still pretty mild. You know, even if it was snowing out there, and temperature's 35, you're not going to have anything sticking to the ground. And tomorrow, look for a high of 42. Chance for some rain showers. A little colder for Thursday and Friday, highs in the mid-30s. Maybe a rain or snow shower chance Thursday morning. And those are even looking iffy. After that, dry weather through Christmas, or at least Christmas Eve. Maybe some flurries Christmas Eve night and Christmas Day. And then after Christmas, Wednesday, Thursday, really watching a storm system for some mixed precipitation, some rain, wind, and eventually some light snow by Friday.
All right. Okay. Gary, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us for News 3 at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.